For the question, with more senior people, how to improve the quality of life. So, in my opinion, there are three main things that I think we as as a as a citizen who can improve the quality of life of our senior adults. So for the first of all is I recommend the society to develop the social welfare for the senior group. For example, they can develop the healthcare services that can be accessible to everyone, and this healthcare service is also is available for all the senior people, no matter how much of their income or their social class there is. And also apart from the healthcare service, I also recommend the society to provide the public place to to senior people to relax and refresh in a beautiful setting of natural greenery as a wellness part. Because in I think that in the for senior people, they already old and they have nothing to do. So maybe like at the end of their life, maybe they want to enjoy the rest of their life and uh, have some sightseeing with nature or kind of that. And also, government should provide a comprehensive welfare services that aim to integrating welfare. For example, as I say, healthcare, medical care, education, labor, sports, and that related to the field. Another thing, the second thing is that it is this topic is quite related to the former one. I recommend the society to develop the field of telemedicine for the senior. As the people getting older, uh, healthcare is kind of a vital factor to them, and they cannot neglect uh, to take care of themselves. So from the situation of the COVID-19, it is quite difficult for people to go to the hospital often. So maybe government should provide some telemedicine or hospital application that everyone, particular, especially aging people, can access, and maybe they can consult about their health, or they can talk to the doctor or something, some kind of that. And the last one, I'm quite cheer up uh, the government uh, to have some kind of uh, senior college. Maybe this topic is in the part of the education that I think I think I think we can let them enjoy the concept of lifelong learning. It's not important that how old are you, but everyone, every age can access the education. And also, uh, I think they each other can learn can learn the skills and knowledge from each other, while making effective use of facility and return the result to the society, which means that when they can learn from each other, it means that they themselves can feel that they can do the benefit. They can benefit the society, uh, even though they are old already. So this concept can utilize this skill and knowledge to keep up the trends, and they also can carry the traditional culture that maybe some of us might forget and pass, and they can pass these culture to the next generation. So I think these concepts can promote the interaction in the society. Thank you.
Number 2, how to deal with the increased number of older people in the labor force. So if we talk about the older people that are the labor, that means the old people means high and much more experience than the new labor. So the people that have a high experience can do a lot of things that like the new labor cannot do. Example, they know the quality of work by using their experience to like control everything and know what to do step by step easily and know how to handle with many situations than the new labor. Okay, so will there be enough job? Sure. Like right now in Thailand, there was a lot of job that don't have worker. So the older labor people can like replace them. And by hiring the old labor, they can use the money that are lower cost than the new labor that or the labor that are in the standard age. And in Thailand, there was a company that like ready to that are like available to hire the old labor, like Big C, like IKEA, and Grab. What about healthcare and education? The healthcare and in the education is very important for those labor. So like when the old people, the old worker work in like a company, there will always be insurance to like protect the labor when they have like something wrong with themselves or like some accidents or maybe the disease or something, the insurance will pay for them. And it is very important because like old people is easily by infected by the virus or something like that.
Number 3, how does higher population goal affect poverty? Because first, high population expansion is expected to diminish per capita income, goal and well-being, so increasingly poverty. Number 3, how does higher population goal affect poverty? Because first, high population expansion is expected to diminish per capita income, goal and well-being, so increasing poverty. Second, rapid population expansion is highly populated for a country with land scarcity causes landlessness, and so poverty. COVID-19 has also had an influence. This exacerbates its issue of poor people who are already poor and need particular support. Finally, the negative impact of high population expansion on child health and education will almost certainly increase poverty in the next generation. However, on the other hand, are more likely to reduce poverty considering population growth is an indirect strategy that, in the short run, is unlikely to have a significant independent impact on poverty reduction, especially when compared to a variety of other poverty alleviation measures.
How do lower population growth rate affect the economies and quality of life? So decreasing our population growth rates, be it gender and different age of the populations, made the structure of the populations in the country had changed as well. And Of course, the lack of labor, that is a problem. The lower populations mean there will be a few laborer, low GDP, and the number of consumers that have decreased as well, which consumers are considered an important factor for the economy conditions. Lack of labor among working age group has an impact on the economy. There are also a group of people who hate an obligation to take responsibility for kids and old people that this is their parents. And when the population is doing the working age is reduced, this will have the problems of quality of life such as quality and abundance students and the older people have increased the number of orphans and homeless people, and the government has not enough budget to help them, such as assistance in welfare for the elderly and social security, and the achievements for foundations for these people because of the problem of decreasing of consumers is the consumer is a key important to driving the country's economy like that.
Okay, lastly, what skills do you need to be happy as a global citizen, regardless of your age? I would say there are several skills that you can practice to be happiness person, but I have concluded a 5 skill that I think is appropriate and not very hard to practice, and I would call this a happiness skill. So let's get started. The first one is thankfulness. When I say thankfulness, I mean appreciating and thanking of others' goodness they have done for us, and this will help you be more optimism, and of course be more optimism will change your perspective to this world. It will become more positive, and of course that will help you to be more happy. Second, human connection. When I said human connection, I didn't only mean the relationship between your friends, your colleagues, your lover, your relatives, but also your family. This example is directly from me. When I have something sad or I feel down in my life, I would talk to my mom. Mostly, she can give me an advice and I can get out of that situation. But sometimes, even though she didn't give me any advice, it can relieve my stress because, talking to someone can relieve your mind, and that can makes you become more happy person, I would say. Third, positive outlook. Positive outlook, I would say, is something very similar to optimism because your perspective will become more positive. For example, in workplace, if you have your colleagues and her or his characteristic and behavior will be some kind of that behavior you will never like, of course you will hate him. But if you have a positive outlook and you can see positive things out of him or her, I know it's impossible for us to like them, but at least we are not hating them, and that can help you become more happy person in this world. Fourth, generosity. When I say generosity, I mean helping and being kind to others. Sometimes, in some persons, someone's life, they have always be a receiver and never be a giver. But be a giver is something very rewarding, and if they never be a giver, I would suggest them try to be a giver at once in their life, and the results will something, I think, is another level of happiness. And lastly, mindfulness. When I said mindfulness is, I mean being aware of your thoughts, your feeling, your surrounding and environment. This way will help you to be more focused, and you can practice to balance your emotional. I mean, you are not thinking ahead of the future. You're not stuck in the past, but you're living in the present. So that can help you a lot to be more happy person. Yeah, and that's all 5 happiness skill to be a happy person in this 21st century. But to conclude, I would say that's all to yourself. You know, if you are a happiest person in the world, I mean, in others' perspective, you're living in a very good environment. You look so happy, but you cannot manage yourself. You will never be happy, and you will never living your life as a happy person. In contrast, if there's another one living in a worse environment than you, but they can find their happiness, a little happiness in their life, of course they will be a happy person than you. So you live your life. You'll be the one to make the decision what or who you will want to be. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.